Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Jonah. I am with Discover, and I'm super excited to be talking to Sam Richter today. Sam, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Oh, super well. Super stoked for this event. For everyone watching, before we go any further, please hop in the comments. Let us know if you can see us and hear us all right. We want to make sure all the audio and video is working well before we get going. And feel free to use the comments for discussion, to ask questions. Let us know where you're tuning in from, maybe how you heard about Sam or Discover. We love hearing all of those things. Lynn, Noren, sorry if I say your name wrong there, but good morning to you as well. Everything's looking and sounding good. Also, set a couple expectations. Sam has given us a lot of information, and he told me he's doing a little of a demo, so there's a lot of value here. If you have to get up away from the computer for a second or life distracts you, don't fret. All of this will be available as a replay. It'll be here on the YouTube page. It'll also be on the Discover event page, and it'll be emailed to you if you RSVP'd for the event. Also, I'm sure you're all going to have some questions during the event. Sam is going to get through the presentation, and then we'll do a proper Q&A near the end. So feel free to pop your questions in at any point, but if we don't get to them during the presentation, feel free to pop them in again in the Q&A so we can make sure to get to them. Just want to call out a few. Lynn is watching from Chicago. That's so nice. Everything sounds good. Big fan of Sam. From the UK, it's so cool. Love that people are coming from all over the world. So give a proper introduction. Like I said, we have Sam Richter here today, and we are going to be talking about web search secrets to find and win more business. A little background on Sam. Best-selling author Sam Richter is considered one of the foremost authorities on sales intelligence and digital reputation management. In 2020, he was inducted into the National Speaker Hall of Fame, and he was named one of the world's top 50 sales keynote speakers, one of the world's top 25 most influential sales leaders, one of the top 15 highest rated virtual presenters, and IES Speaker of the Year. Sam annually delivers more than 100 keynotes and programs to top organizations around the globe and has been featured in USA Today, CNN, Forbes, and hundreds of newspapers, magazines, and online publications. Sam is the founder and creator of the Intel Engine family of custom search resources and serves on the board of directors for numerous technology companies. Sam, that is quite a bio, and I'm stoked for this event. I love all this kind of search technology and how wild and vast it is. And I don't want to take up any more time, so I'm going to hand it over to you.
Well, hey, thank you so much. I'm really, really excited to be with everybody today. Well, we're going to be talking about every sales yes begins with a no. Web search secrets to find the right leads at the right time with the right message, all designed to help us really massively grow our business. So I want to start out by asking you a question. I want you to think about the last time you met with a prospect. How well did you really know that individual, their company, their industry? Was their company growing? Was it decreasing in size? Were they adding staff? Were they laying off staff? Were they a merger and acquisition target? Were they looking to acquire somebody? How about the industry they were in? Was it growing? Was it compressing? The individual you were meeting with, their work background, educational history, family life. Do they have kids? Do they have pets? What's their hobbies? I would argue if you don't know the answers to those questions before you walk in the room, before you do a virtual sales call, before you even do a social media connection, send an email, pick up the phone, that you're winging it a little bit. So virtual show of hands. How many of you have ever winged it before? Hey, I do it. I wing it sometimes where I walk into a meeting, I do a social media connection where I'm just not as prepared as I'd like to be. So today we want to answer the question, could our businesses be better if we had access to better information? So I want to start out by thinking about all the digital information that's out there. Think of everything you do in a digital format, every website you look at, every email you send, every text message you send, every social media post you make. Heck, every time you're walking around your community, you're probably being filmed and digitized, and this information is stored on the cloud. We've all heard of this concept called big data. And we oftentimes think of big data as information that big companies are going to use to market to us, or big government's going to use to spy on us. That's all true. The reality is you all have access to big data because you're probably watching this right now, the recording, the live program. You're watching it using wireless internet access. There are trillions of pieces of data floating around your head this very second. The key here is, how do we take data and translate that into information, transform information into knowledge, and then act on that knowledge to grow our business? And that's what we're going to learn today. Now, that's the how. I'm going to teach you how to find information in ways you never thought possible, using the tools you use every day, like Google and social media. I'll teach you this thing called the invisible web. But it's also the why we're here that's most important. Why are we here? You see, your prospects, your customers, your clients are amazingly passionate about one thing. What is it? It's themselves. People are amazingly passionate about themselves. Yet all too often in today's world, what do we do when we're doing a sales presentation? The business meeting, virtual or in person. We connect with people via email. We connect with people via social media. Who do we end up talking about? We end up talking about ourselves. And you know what? Our prospects, they don't care, but they're massively passionate about themselves. So how do we make sure that we're talking about the other person based on what they care about? That's the why we're here. It's all about the other person, because we know that if we can talk about the other person, if we can align our solutions with what they care about, well, we're going to end up building relationships, strengthening relationships, growing our business, selling more of our solutions, providing more relevant value. So yeah, I'm going to teach you how to use Google in ways that 99% of the planet has no clue how to do. But again, it's the why we're here that's most important. All right, so let's dive in. I'm going to teach you how to know more. That was the theory of today's program. Now, if you haven't figured out already, I'm not one of these leadership speakers that's going to tell you about how I climbed Mount Everest naked and saved a cat on the way down. Right? Give you 3 leadership principles, conclude with the 3 leadership principles, tell you about my leadership course. No, you're going to get about 30 things today. There's a lot more where that came from, but I'm going to give you the 30 techniques, tools, techniques, ideas, strategies, tactics that you can use every day to find those right leads, connect with people, and grow your business. So feel free to take notes. Now, this is going to be recorded, so you'll have access to the recording. Feel free to take screen grabs, but don't feel pressure to keep up with me as well. You also all get access to my tip sheet. Really easy to get. Just go to my website. It's completely free. If you go to samrichter.com, wait about 3 seconds for the page to load. Go to samrichter.com and you'll get access to my tip sheet. Also, if you want, take out your phone right now. Just take out your mobile device if you're not on it. Take out your mobile device, flip up the camera. If you aim the camera at that QR code, it'll take you right to my website. Wait about 3 seconds. Like I said, a little pop-up thing will show up. Enter in your email address. You'll get the tip sheet immediately. So again, feel free to, take notes, take screen grabs. Don't worry if you miss something. You're all going to get access to the recording. You all get access to the tip sheet. Plus, at the end, I have got a surprise for you, something I know you're going to love. You've never seen anything like it, but you got to hang with me. That's my job, to make sure you hang with me. So, hey, let's dive in. Let's put you through Search University. And we're actually going to start out in Google University. And frankly, if you don't mind, we're going to start out a little bit at Google Kindergarten. I want to make sure we're all kind of on the same page here. Some of you might know these kindergarten techniques, but if I could spend 5-6 minutes getting us through kindergarten, well, then I'm going to get you through some masters, even a couple of PhD level tips on how to use this amazingly powerful tool. So Google Kindergarten. What is Google? Google's really nothing more than a big vacuum cleaner. So imagine this vacuum cleaner going all over the internet, and what it's looking for is websites with words on the page. Google finds a website with words on the page, it flips on the vacuum cleaner, sucks up the words, stores the words in the vacuum cleaner bag. When you go into Google, type in 1, 2, or 3 words, well, all that's happening is Google saying, where do those 3 words appear most often? Here you go. There's no human being on the back end saying this site's better than that site. So if I go into Google and type in something like insurance, what do I get? I get 80 billion search results, everything from cyber insurance, auto insurance, health insurance, home insurance, life and annuity insurance and everything in between. So the key to effective searching is math. It's a mathematical equation. Some of you may have heard the term boolean logic by a 19th century mathematician, a guy named George Boole. He's the guy that invented basically the zeros and the ones. And now most of us don't learn Boolean logic. If you took a computer science class in the 1970s, you did, because it's the power that runs all of our technology. You see, I guess the power of really good technology is what? It's intuitive. I don't have to read the manual. You want to know the problem of really good technology? It's intuitive. You never read the manual. You never learn the good stuff. The good news is the good stuff's pretty easy. Let me teach it to you. The first one's a plus sign. Hey, Google, every result you deliver must have the word restaurant, must have the word supplies. Now, restaurant could be in the first paragraph, supplies could be in the 40th paragraph, but both of those words must appear somewhere on the page. Now, here's the good news. You technically don't even need to know this one. If I go into Google and type in restaurant supplies with no plus sign, I get the exact same results in the exact same order. So why did I show it to you? Next time you're in Google or any search engine, type in 2 words with no plus sign and then watch what happens to the website address. And you'll notice that in this example, Google starts building the mathematical equation for you. So I want you to start thinking mathematically. Now, the next one's or. I'm not really sure. Do I want this or do I want that? By typing in OR, now here's the trick. The OR's got to be in uppercase. By typing in OR, between your search results, you're telling the search engine, give me this or give me that. Give me directors or give me managers. By typing in OR, all uppercase, I want to make sure we type in uppercase. If you type in or lowercase, we get every website in the world with the word or in it. Don't want that. But or in all uppercase, give me this or give me that. We expand our search. So this next one you're going to love. It's the minus sign. Why? It's a huge time saver. See, if you're like most folks, you're spending a couple hours each day online looking for information. You're looking for websites. You're looking for websites for your business. You're looking for a great Italian restaurant tonight. You're also searching your email, aren't you? Hey, where's that email I sent to Susie Jones? You're searching your computer. Where's that PowerPoint presentation I sent to Acme Corporation? See, all these techniques, these kindergarten techniques, will not only work when you're searching online, it'll also work when you're searching your email, your network drive, your computer. I love this one. It's the minus sign. It's a huge time saver. Why? It's a filter. It removes bad search results. I'm going to use my son Cameron as an example. So we're from Minnesota. I live in Minnesota. Huge Minnesota Vikings, Minnesota Twins, North Stars. What am I talking about? They haven't been here for a while. Minnesota Wild. Huge sports fan. Now my son goes to the University of Missouri. And down at the University of Missouri, his history teacher said, hey, Cam, I want you to write a report on the Vikings. You know, the guys from Norway from 500 years ago with the big boats and the swords. So Cam does what any kid does. He goes in and he types in the word Vikings and he gets a lot of bad search results. And so what he can do is he can go in and minus out words. So instead of getting the football team, he can go and minus out words and get the results that he cares about. Now, let me show you a business example of that. So I'm working for a big company organization. These folks they put wire into concrete, not like wire wire rebar that would go into your swimming pool area or your sidewalks and things. These are folks that are building huge bridge projects, skyscrapers. So rehab is kind of a bad word. Rebar, they don't want to use rebar. And so they're doing some searching. They go in and say, hey, I'm looking for concrete plus steel plus reinforcement. And they get a bunch of results. But look, it's showing up that we don't care about. We don't care about the word rebar. So here's a little magic trick. Anytime you're getting a word that you don't care about, you're going to go right back up and you're going to minus that word out. The key here is you attach a minus sign to the word that you'd like to remove. So no space after the minus sign, minus rebar, and look at the results. None of the results have rebar in it. But we're also not interested in bamboo. So here's kind of a cool thing. You could do this about 30 times. You eyeball the results, you go right back up and you say, hey, I'm not interested in bamboo. So give me every result with the word concrete, every result with the word steel, every result with the word reinforcement. We don't want any of them to have the word rebar and none of them to have the word bamboo. It's a huge time saver. The minus sign will easily save you an hour a day. because you can start out with some super broad search terms and in seconds drill down to the information you care about. So for example, when my son Cameron did Vikings, he got a bunch of results on the football team. He didn't want that. He minused out football and started to get the guys from Norway with the big boats and the swords, the ancient Vikings. This client, they didn't want rebar. So again, they go right back up, minus out rebar, minus out bamboo, in seconds get down to the information that they care about. This next one will save you 20 minutes a day. It's quotation marks. Anytime you're searching for a proper noun, name of a person, name of a company, even a phrase like annual revenue, put it in quotes. You'll get way better results. Why? When you put something within quotes, you're telling the search engine the words within quotes must appear in that exact order every single time. Let me give you an example. So I'm looking for this woman. Her name's Karen Jane Anderson. Now, like most of you, I fire up Google and I type in Karen Jane Anderson, and I get the low number of 70 million search results. Many of them are Karen Jane Anderson, but I'm also getting Karen Johnson, Jane Smith, Phil Anderson. Why? What did we just learn? If we type 3 words into any search engine, what does the search engine think we mean? Well, the third search engine thinks we mean plus. Those 3 words have to appear somewhere on the page, just not in any order. So a simple trick like putting your search within quotation marks, we go from a few million search results to now, when we put it within quotes, the search engine thinks that that is an entity. It's a single, it treats those 3 words as a single entity. We go from a few million search results to the 77 who we care about. And that is Google Kindergarten. So super easy techniques. Great. Now what do? How do we use these techniques to start growing our business? Let's start moving into high school a little bit. We're going to build, the technical term is called a complex boolean query. I just call it combo searching. Let's take some of these techniques, start building mathematical equations and getting great results. So I'm looking for decision makers at Abbott Labs. Look at the mathematical query that I'm building. Hey, every result must have the phrase Abbott Labs, the phrase vice president, or the word purchasing. Now I'm using parentheses. You don't really need to, unless you're building super long queries, which I can share with you later. Most of us aren't going to do that. I use my parentheses when I'm separating out my ors. Kind of reminds me of junior high school math, but use the parens, don't use the parens, doesn't matter. But what we're looking for is we're saying, hey, find me every result must have the phrase Abbott Labs, the word purchasing, the phrase vice president, or the word director, and we get some great results. And here's where the art comes in. So the science is the plus sign, the minus, the quotes. The art is knowing when to use them. What's showing up that we don't necessarily care about? Jobs. I don't want job opportunities. I want job titles. Based on what you just learned, what should we do? You got it. We go right back up. We minus out the word job. Google says, why didn't you tell me you were looking for people? Here you go. So in seconds, we go from irrelevant search results. Using these techniques, we bring up the information that we care about. Now, how many of you have ever gone online to get a date? Okay, I have the attendee roster today. I know how many of you have gone online to get a date. I don't mean that kind of a date. I mean this kind of a date. And I'm going to show you dates, online dating, I suppose, using a tool, a technique, a strategy that will massively help you grow your business. It's the concept of sales triggers. So what's a sales trigger? Well, let me give you an example of a sales trigger. So let's say that I call you right now and I say, hi, my name is Sam. I'm from Sam's Roofing Company. I'd love to come out and give you a free estimate. Well, what are you going to do? Delete, hang up, go away. But what if a huge hailstorm hits your house right now? Golf balls, softball size hail pounding off the roof. All of a sudden, water starts leaking down the walls in the kitchen. 5 minutes later, I call. Hi, this is Sam from Sam's Roofing Company. I'd love to come out and give you a free estimate. Well, what am I now? I'm your new best friend, right? A sales trigger is a disruption that's going on in another person's world where they might actually want to take your call today. Think of your world. Think of who you sell to. There's a lot of disruptions going on where, and what do I mean by disruption? They already have a vendor relationship, but now, because of something going on in their world, they might be interested in taking your call. They're interested in creative solutions. The good news is a lot of these sales triggers you can find if you know where and how to look. let me show you how to do it. One of the biggest sales triggers is anytime a new executive is hired. Well, that's a great time to reach out. Why? Because oftentimes when an executive is hired, they're brought in to make change. They're brought in to show how smart they are. They might actually be interested in talking to a new company. They don't have any existing legacy vendor relationships. They want to show how smart they are. So they want to hear your message. The good news is when new executives are hired, what happens? People put out a press release, a blog post, a social media post. These all become searchable if you know where and how to look. The key, think like the author. So if you were the author of a press release about a new president or a new chief executive being hired in Ohio, what words would you use? You're going to use words like welcomes, new chief executive, new president, Ohio. And we get some amazing results. Look at that, but beautiful, almost 2 million sales triggers. Look at the dates. Hey, congratulations on getting the job 7 years ago. No, that's not going to work. What do? How many of you have seen this button? It's the tools button. It's on every single Google search result. Click on it. When you click on the tools button, a drop-down menu appears that allows you to sort your results by date. Only show me results from the past year, the past month, the past day, the past hour. How about the past week? And in seconds, we go from a couple of million irrelevant search results to the 3, 4, 5 sales triggers that you care about. All of these executives are interested in hearing your message today. You're going to click, you're going to read the article. When you call, when you reach out, when you do a LinkedIn connection, when you email, you're going to have something relevant to say based on what they care about. What are some other sales triggers that are out there? Well, again, lots of them. A construction or expansion product. Anytime a company's going through a construction or expansion, well, they probably need new vendors, office supplies, HVAC units, insurance, whatever it might be. You can find these because people are putting out press releases. Food processing, that's the industry. What words would you put in that release, that blog post? Construction, expansion, announces, completes. Sort by past year. These are some great sales triggers. They need to hear your message right now. Mergers or acquisitions. Anytime companies are coming together, they're looking for new creative solutions. Anytime companies are coming together, they put out an announcement. What words would be in that announcement? Medical device company, mergers or acquisitions, announces or completes, sort by past year, sales triggers. One of my favorites is venture capital, funding, IPO. Why? Because here's what I know for certain. If a venture capitalist is going to a company and saying, hey, here's a check for $50 million, do you think that venture capitalist is going to the CEO of the company and saying, hey, we think we'd like you to put this $50 million in an index, preferably conservative mutual fund? No, they're saying we're giving you $50 million because we need you to spend it. We believe in your product. We believe in your solution. You need to go hire people. You need to go buy new vendors or software. You need to get new parts, whatever it is. They need to spend it. The only question is, are they spending it with you? You can find these sales triggers. Why? Because people receive funding, put out press releases. What words would be in there? VC or venture or capital, raises, receives. I'm looking at the HVAC industry. Sort by past year. Amazing. These people need to hear your message right now. I got to tell you, I love lists. I love getting lists. We're going to show you how to build lists, how to get lead lists. Starting at A, ending at Z. Mathematically, somebody's going to buy from you. But I think it's so important to, augments your prospecting with sales triggers. Do these kinds of searches at like 4 o'clock on a Friday. Find some sales triggers opportunities because next week you're going to call on these 3, 4. Yes, you're still going to do your 50 calls, whatever it is, whatever's in your sales process, but you're also going to supplement it, augment it with 5, 6, 7, 10 sales trigger companies, sales triggers where the company, the individual needs to hear your message today. Laser focus that prospecting. All right, now it's time to go to the doc. Not that kind of a doctor. What do I mean? How many of you have ever downloaded a document from the internet? We've all done it, right? Somebody emails you a PowerPoint presentation or they say, click here to download the Excel spreadsheet from the cloud. And you think because they emailed it to you or it's because it's sitting in the cloud that it's secure. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's not. There's trillions of documents floating around your head this very second. You can find them if you know how to do it. You use what's called a file type colon search, where I have YYY. You replace that with the kind of file you're interested in. So what kind of Excel spreadsheets might be floating out there on the internet? Budgets, member lists, attendee lists, PowerPoint documents could be your competitors' proposals, PDF files could be research reports, white papers, all sorts of things. Let me give you a couple of examples. People ask me all the time, say, hey, Sam, where do you get leads from? How do I find, decision makers at companies? As I like to say to people, look around your room, look around your office right now, pick out something. Oh, you picked out that lamp? Great. Did you know that there's a National Lamp Association? Every industry on the planet has an association. If you have an association, what do you usually have? Members. Now, who's the member of the association? Is it the assistant intern? No. It's the CEO, the chairman, the president, the vice president of sales, the chief technology officer. Now, a lot of member directories aren't posted online, but a lot of them are. Watch what we can do. Hey, find me building supplies. Notice how I put it in quote, member directory or membership directory. A lot of these come up in PDF files, file type colon PDF. It's amazing what you can find when you know where and how to look. Well, if you got an association, well, you probably have a conference. If you've got a conference, you probably got an attendee list. Hey, go find me the word food, supply chain, fulfillment. What other words would you put in an attendee list? Attendee or registrant. Excel spreadsheet, file type colon XLS. It is crazy what you can find when you know where and how to look. Here's an interesting one. Find me the word hospital. Find me the word purchasing or procurement. Now, when we're doing these searches, we're saying we're looking for these words inside the document, inside the PDF, the Excel spreadsheet, the PowerPoint. So find me the word hospital, purchasing, or procurement. Just think like the author. Try different things. It's kind of an art. Now, why am I putting Gmail in there? You see, Google doesn't really allow you to look for email addresses anymore, except for one, their own. And I figure if the attendee list has got a Gmail address in there, well, it's got to be pretty decent. Put in the words you're thinking of, file type colon XLS. It is crazy what you can find. Here's a procurement purchasing list, email addresses, phone numbers for pretty much every hospital in the entire country. Amazing what you can find when you know where and how to look. So those were some Google tricks that hopefully you're going to find really helpful. There's a lot more in the tip sheet, but those are the ones that I use every single day. I think you'll start using them as well. You'll save yourself a ton of time and hopefully start getting the information that you care about. Okay, now let's talk about the invisible web, or the scary part of the internet. What percentage of the free and publicly accessible internet do you think Google gets to? It's got to be 80%, right? 50%? Most people are shocked that it's about 5%. Google gets to a very small percentage of the free and publicly accessible internet. The rest is what's called the invisible web, or websites that for whatever reason, Google can't even find. Now, why can't Google vacuum up a website? Well, there's lots of technical reasons. People build their websites wrong. Here's one you can all relate to. Google can't register. Think of every site where you've had to register to access the information. It could be Thermoplastics Digest, a trade magazine. It could be Facebook. The information's free. I mean, think of Facebook. There's probably trillions of pages on Facebook, right? There's every post, every picture is a page. It's free. You can access those if you have a free Facebook account. But if you go to Google and try to search Facebook, well, you can get some pages, but most of the billions, if not trillions of pages are hidden. Google can't register. So there's millions of these invisible websites, obviously. Let me share with you 2, 3, 4 that I think you'll use every day. Now, my favorite ones are finding information on companies. How do we find information on companies? Well, there's a number of different websites we can use. I'm a big fan of free, so let's look at some free ones. One of my favorites is buzzfile.com/home/basic. Where you can go in. Now, you've got to register for your free account, buzzfile.com/home/basic. You create your free account. You're going to use your boolean inside the invisible web. I'm looking for the company Environmental Graphics, and I pull up some great information. There's the key contact phone number, doing about 66 million with 52 employees. Now, is that accurate? No, and that's okay. We're not in the R&D side of our business. We're not the engineers in our business. We're not the software technology people in our business where those folks need to be perfect. We're in sales. We don't need to be perfect. We just need to be close enough. Because our goal in sales is not to be right. Our goal in sales is simply to ask a better question. Gain permission to ask a question. Old way of doing things. Hi, how big are you guys? It just kind of shows you're not informed. You haven't done your homework. Kind of annoying. New way of doing things. Hey, I looked you up. I know you're a privately held company. I'm sure what I found isn't accurate, but the best I could find is, you got about 52 employees doing about 66 million. Is that accurate? You see, when you walk into a meeting, when you email somebody, when you social media connect, do a virtual presentation, when the first words out of your mouth are about the other person, you show that you care, you differentiate, and most important, you gain that permission, that trusted permission to ask those tougher questions. That's what information can do for you. Now, people ask me all the time. They say, Sam, do we need to really have relationships with our customers? I mean, think about it. For those you buy from, do you need to have a relationship from your vendor? No, you don't need to have that relationship. I don't need to know about the person who I'm buying from. I don't need to know about their family, their business. No offense, I don't care. But as a seller, I need to have what I call a relationship mindset. What do I mean by that? I need to think of that prospect, my client, my customer, in a way where I do care about what they care about. I want to know what's important to them. Because if I can figure out what's important to them and what they care about, well, then I can align my solutions with what I know they care about. Can I help them achieve their goals a little bit more efficiently, profitably, effectively, efficiently than they might be able to do on their own? So when I talk about relationships in business and building trust and asking better questions so we can strengthen those relationships, I don't expect my buyer, my prospect, to have a relationship with me, but I need to have that relationship mindset with them. Okay, so great. Now we've got some information on a company. How do we find these folks? We'd all like to find email addresses, right? Well, think about this. For most of us, our email addresses are the same back end as our website address. So for example, if I work for a widget corporation, website www.widget.com, email might be something like srichter@widget.com. So if I can figure out your website address, pretty easy to do, I can usually figure out anybody else's email at the company. How do we do it? Well, let's dive in and see. So I want to find out Environmental Graphics website address. I do a nice boolean search in my Environmental Graphics, and I see that their website's muralsyourway.com. I go to the invisible website, hunter.io/search, and I create my free account. I paste in the website address, muralsyourway.com, no www, no HTTPS. Now, they're not hacking into any systems. What Hunter's doing is going out and looking for web pages where email addresses exist. And if I'm looking for our guy, Ted Yock, take a wild guess at what his email address is. Well, it's probably going to be tedy@muralsyourway.com. Once I can figure out that email naming convention, I can usually figure out anybody else's email at the company. News. I'm a huge fan of news articles. Why? Because you've heard me say it already. The first words out of your mouth should be about the other person. And you can get news information about an award they've won, a new client they've won, somebody they've hired, what's going on in their world. Talk about them. The first word in that email, the first word in that social media connection needs to be about them. We're going to do that by finding news articles. So I'm calling on a company called DGI Supply. So I got to find out what these folks do for a living. So I'm going to go in, I'll do DGI Supply. I call this Google Preschool. Of course, I'm going to see what they do for a living. Got to do that. But have you ever gone to somebody's website? I mean, when you're looking at somebody's website, what are you looking at? Well, you're looking at their online marketing brochure. They're not going to tell you anything that they don't want you to know. I mean, I know I've never gone to a website, big yellow starburst pops up that says, hey, click here to find out why we're going bankrupt. So of course, you're going to look at their website. But when I'm researching somebody prior to a meeting, I'm also going to go back into my Google News. I'm going to go back into my Google results. I'm going to click that news button because I want to find articles about what's going on in the other person's world. Now, Google News is looking at the big newspapers, the Wall Street Journals, the USA Todays, and oftentimes you'll find something, but sometimes you don't. There's nothing there. Why? because DGI supplies a $50 million distribution company outside of Chicago. They're not showing up in the Wall Street Journal. What do? I go to the invisible website, yougotthenews.com. Yougotthenews.com is probably the most powerful news search engine out there on the planet. Now, for full transparency, I say that because, well, I built it. I was so tired of not getting news articles in in Google News that I built my own, yougotthenews.com. Now you're going to learn a couple of my search engines today. Key in my search engines is you don't have to use boolean. So the boolean that I'm teaching you, all these techniques I'm teaching you, for lack of a better term, think of it as I'm pulling back the curtain on the Wizard of Oz. I want you to know what it is because you need to know how these things work. You're not always going to use my search engines, obviously. So you need to know how they work, but I'm also going to give you access to the Wizard of Oz. You Got the News is one of the accesses to the Wizard of Oz. So I'm going to go in here. Google News has got nothing. I'm going to choose archives. Now, no quotation marks, no Boolean. I'm going to click on the More News button. And a number of articles appear, including one on the guy I'm calling on, John Hendricks, gold medalist, Australian Olympic swim team. In fact, he's the first person credited to ever winning a race because he shaved off all his body hair. How cool is that? Not the body hair part, but the Olympic part. I've never met an Olympian before, much less a gold medalist from Australia. So you might be asking yourself, okay, this is cool stuff, Sam, but how do you use this without people thinking you're some kind of a weird stalker? So here's the language that I use. It's a little bit corny, but it works for me. Modify it, make it work for yourself. It goes something like this. Hey, John, before I meet with people, I like to do a little bit of homework. You're a busy guy, and I don't want to waste your time. What have I just done? Well, I've completely differentiated myself from probably 99% of the people, much less salespeople, John's ever met with. Isn't it crazy that the world in which we live today, where theoretically every word ever printed in the history of humankind I can access on one of these devices, most people don't do their homework? I mean, it's crazy. I'm a best-selling author. The number of people who reach out to me via LinkedIn, phone calls, emails. Sam, as a professional speaker, have you ever thought of turning your intellectual property into a book? Or vice versa. I'm a Hall of Fame speaker. Sam, as a best-selling author, have you ever thought of turning your intellectual property into a speech? I'm a speech coach. Come on, look at my website, much less my LinkedIn profile. That's easy. Why? So all you've got to do is have a little bit of information and you completely differentiate yourself. And, hey, John, before I meet with people, I like to do a little bit of homework. You're a busy guy. I don't want to waste your time. And then here's the next magic phrase. And guess what I found? You see, when John and I set up the meeting 3 weeks ago, he's like, I'll meet with you. When he saw my name on his calendar this morning for a 8 o'clock meeting, he's like, oh, why do I have to meet with this schlub? I got to get ready for my board meeting. I got to get the dog to the vet. It's 8 o'clock. I can't cancel. And if I walk into that meeting and I start talking about myself, I take out my 3-ring binder and show all of my products and solutions, most of which are completely irrelevant to John. What's the small talk going on in his head? When's this guy going to go away? So that next magic phrase, and guess what I found? Hey, before I meet with people, I like to do a bit of homework. You're a busy guy. And guess what I found? What do you think happens when I say that? What'd you find? I have their full attention, don't I? Tell them what I found. Olympic gold medalist, first person ever credited to winning a race because you shaved off all your body hair. And then here's the next magic phrase. Can you tell me about that? And then what do? Well, I be quiet and I listen. Because for the next 20 minutes, who's John going to talk about? Himself. And that's our goal. Be quiet. Ask a really intelligent, most important, relevant question to something you know your prospect cares about, your client, your customer cares about. Be quiet and listen. Because they'll share with you some information. They'll share with you what's going on in their world. They'll share with you some of the challenges they're having. If you listen closely, then you can align your solutions with what they care about. John, I've got this 3-ring binder of the 374 things we can do here for you. But, based on what you just said, let me focus on the 2 that I think you'll care about. Now, sometimes you will find information on somebody that's just not appropriate to share. Hey, Joe, congratulations on the 3rd bankruptcy and the 4th divorce, right? You think you'll get it right this time? No, you're not going to go there. That's a little bit weird. But when you know something about another person and they don't know that you know it, we've all had that experience where we know something about another person and they don't know that you know it. How does it make you feel? Confident, powerful, trustworthy. You see, there's energy that goes between people. It happens certainly in person. I think virtually. Heck, I can sometimes feel it over the email, over a social media connection. When someone's confident, when they're feeling good about themselves, when they're excited, the other person picks up on that energy. People do business with people who they like. People do business with people who they trust. All your marketing, all your LinkedIn profiles, all of your tweets on Twitter, your Facebook, all your public relations, all that never wins you any business. I'm sorry, folks, it doesn't. I'm a big marketing fan, but all marketing does is get you in the maybe pile. What's the maybe pile? You're one of three. And once you're in that maybe pile, those other two competitors, they're just as good as you. According to your prospect, now you know why you're different, but based on your prospect, you sell the same results. You're going to cost the same. People do business with people who they trust, who they like, make that connection with others. LinkedIn. We all have a LinkedIn account. LinkedIn's what? It's the most powerful networking tool on the planet, right? 750 million people with LinkedIn profiles. What's a LinkedIn profile? It's a resume. Why do you have a LinkedIn profile? Because you want people to know about you, and most of you use LinkedIn incorrectly. Let me show you a neat way to backdoor into LinkedIn. I think you'll love this. Use your boolean inside the invisible web, inside LinkedIn. Hey, LinkedIn, find me every vice president or manager or director. Notice how I'm using my quotes, my ors, my space before and after the ors. I get the low number of 71 million search results. I guess that's better than 700 million, but I don't want to search 70 million, 71 million search results. What do I do? In the upper right-hand corner of LinkedIn, every version, free version, whatever, click on it. There's a little button called All Filters. When you click on the All Filters button, you can actually sort your results. Only show me these VPs, executives in Omaha, in the food and beverage industry. There we go. Now I get the 136 results that I care about. Here's the challenge, though. I don't have a lot of first, second, or third level connections in Omaha in the food and beverage industry. And so I get results like this. Hey, but that's who I want. I want the vice president of operations at Reinhardt. But if I click on it, LinkedIn says, no, you're not very popular, but for $79, you can upgrade. Go upgrade. Sales Navigator is awesome. Seriously, go up. Listen, if you can't get an ROI on Sales Navigator on $79 a month, we've got a way bigger problem. But maybe you don't do a lot of prospecting. Maybe you don't want to upgrade. That's okay. Let me show you what you can do. Next time you get, you're not very popular, take your mouse, highlight the job title. We're going to copy that job title. We're going to go into Google. We're going to paste the job title in, and here's the magic trick. We're going to put it within quotation marks. If there's misspellings, punctuation, put it in exactly how LinkedIn had it. But the magic trick is we're going to put it within quotation marks. When you do that, Google gives you the person's name. Now we're going to grab that name. We're going to copy it. We're going to go back into LinkedIn, paste it in, put it within quotation marks. We'll put in part of the company name, the city where the person lives. LinkedIn says, well, geez, you've got that much information on the individual. You must be friends with him or her. Here you go. So congratulations. You now have access to 750 million people around the globe for free. And you are graduates of Search University. Now, obviously, there's a lot more where that came from. I mean, I teach a 4-hour program on this. I have a 6-month, once a month program where I teach not only all of this information, but how to apply it in an email, how to get way higher response rates, how to get 97% of referrals to say, yes, I'd love to introduce you to somebody. So, yeah, there's a lot more where this came from, but this is stuff you start using every day, every week. You'll be shocked at how you grow your business. Now, why do I teach all these things? I don't know. I suppose my personal mantra in life is give a person a fish, you feed them for a day, but teach that person how to use the internet and they leave you alone for a super long time. I'm just kidding. You know, the reality is do you need to do this every day? No. I mean, if I'm going to have coffee with somebody, do I need to do all of that searching? No. Now, if I'm a finalist, if I'm in the maybe pile for a big account, do I want to do that kind of searching? Absolutely. I want to know as much as I can. But in general, is it reasonable you could look at someone's LinkedIn profile? You do a you got the news search. Yeah, that's all you got to do. I call it the 3x5. Spend 3 minutes trying to find 5 pieces of information or 5 minutes trying to find 3 pieces of information. That's it. It's easy. And because so many people don't do it, you will be shocked at the effectiveness of what happens when the first words out of your mouth are about the other person, when you show them that you care. Okay, remember, you can all go get the tip sheet. You get that at my website. Again, we'll put this up later if you want. Again, fire your open up your camera, shoot that up at it right now, or just go to samrichter.com. Wait about 4 or 5 seconds. The little pop-up window will show up. Put in your email address. I'll zip over that tip sheet to you. But there's got to be more than this, right? There is. Let me share with you a surprise that I think you are going to love. Because here's the reality. I give this kind of training all over the globe, in person, virtually, and I try to make it easy. I try to make it fun, a little bit high energy, as you can tell, but there's a lot more where this came from. Now, if you need to reach me, that's my business card. I'm super easy to find. So if you ever have any questions, listen, if you couldn't find me that way, don't remember, you don't have to be here. I mean, right? You don't have to listen to anything I have to say. That's the easiest way to find me. However, you don't always want to reach out to me. You'd love to do it yourself, right? So what do we do? Because some of these techniques are super, super difficult. And the reality is, you've spent an hour with me on the recording in person today, and you're going to go back to your email. You're going to have 50 emails, 10 voicemails you need to return, and you're going to be busy. And you're going, hey, what did that guy do? Oh, minus. I'm supposed to put minus in all uppercase within parentheses. You're not going to remember it. And the reality is, this is what you want anyhow. Sam, can you help me find an attendee list of vice presidents or directors responsible for purchasing in the manufacturing industry located in Los Angeles? And the answer is sure. I could teach you how to do it. And that is the Boolean query, how you do it. How many of you are going to remember that? I couldn't even teach it. How'd you like a tool that automates it? And that's what I've developed for you. That's my surprise. It's called the No More program. The No More program includes powerful training, powerful search engine that will help automate. You'll learn everything. You'll learn not only the Google high school and college techniques, we'll drill down and teach you master's and PhD level tools, and you get what's called an Intel engine, a tool that I've developed that sits on top of different search engines that automates all of these 50-word equations for you. So let's go in. I'm going to give you a little quick, about a 10-minute demo here of the engine, a little 10-minute demo of the program so you can see all that you're going to learn, all that you can do. I think you're going to love this. It takes everything I've shared with you today, puts it on steroids, puts it on rocket boosters, sends it up to the moon. It's incredible what you can do. Let's dive in. I'm going to give you a demo. Let me get online here. All right, here we go. So this is the No More Sales and Business Intel program. We're going to scroll down to the sales training area. And as you can see, I've got a number of videos I've created. And I'm adding more all the time, everything from Google basics. And you can go in, and it's really the step-by-step instructions on how to implement everything I'm sharing with you, or I shared with you today, everything from all the way from kindergarten, all the way to PhD, stuff that 99% of the planet has no clue how to do. I teach you how to use Google. I share with you my favorite invisible websites. And most important, through stories and examples, I share with you what to do once you have the information. How do you apply it in an email? How do you apply it in a meeting? How do you apply it in a voicemail? What are the best ways to connect on LinkedIn? The best days, the best times. I've got a whole series of what I call warm call scripts. How do you use information in an email, in a LinkedIn connection, in a voicemail? You also get my 30-page step-by-step instruction manual. How do you implement all these sales techniques? And they're all hyperlinked, so you can click on them and actually get to the real examples. You can see it online. I also have an ebook. What's the opposite? What to do when people are spying on you? How do you control the message? I even got a whole sales success library featuring all these white papers, research reports you can download for free. Okay, that's the learning portion. Now we're going to dive in. I'm going to give you a quick tour of the Intel engine itself. This first area is meeting prep, designed to spend just a minute prior to a meeting. You go in, I want to meet with Argos Risk. Let's find their website. Let's get some general contact information. Now, of course, you can do this on Google. I'm just making it super easy. Get some basic information about the company. Map their location. This is what you could do in Google in maybe 20 minutes. You could do it in less than a minute here. Who are their key executives? Hey, I know I'm meeting with a guy. What's his name? I can't remember. Oh, it's Joe. I can get that person's profile as well. I'm going to go in and I'm going to get past year news. Make sure the first words out of your mouth are about the other person and what they care about. It's incredible what happens when you start your conversation with what's going on in their world. And I'm also going to get current job openings. Why? Because oftentimes people will put information in their job posting that they'd never put online. I mean, look at this. It tells me all the technology they use at the company. You're not going to find this on their website. You can find it in meeting prep. Biz People Advanced. This is like a power search. It's so cool. Find me every CEO or chief in Denver, in the healthcare industry. Now, I went to the University of Minnesota, and I know if I cold call these people, I'm never going to get in. But if I call as an alum, I can. So here's a list of U of M grads, CEOs in the healthcare industry who live in Denver. Now, when I call, I'm not just some salesperson. Hey, I'm a fellow Minnesota Golden Gopher. It's crazy what you can find with the Intel engine. Hey, find me people in Miami that work somewhere in technology. This is awesome for recruiting. And they know JavaScript. So Miami, technology, JavaScript, there's so many cool things, combinations you can do. Here are people that know JavaScript that live in Miami. News search. This is You Got the News. Let me show you how powerful this is. So I'm going to go in. I'm going to type in me, Sam Richter, speaker. I'm going to choose archive. Notice no boolean in any of the engine. And, Google's got some pretty good stuff. So this is Google News. What, about half a dozen articles on me? That's where most of you are going to get if you do a news search. But I'm going to click on the More News button, trade journals, industry journals, local newspapers. And there are the 1,500 articles that I've actually been featured in. 6 versus 15. I can get press releases. I can sort by social media posts. So public social media posts about me and even blog posts about me. So all in one spot in just seconds, you can gather the critical news you need to prepare your business plans, your sales plans, all sorts of things. Company search. It's got a really powerful company search engine. Now you just type in a city, type in an industry, manufacturing, choose the number of employees. And we'll backdoor into LinkedIn company pages to find manufacturing companies in Atlanta that fit our profile in terms of number of employees. Annual revenue, 25 to 250. We're going to back into Zoom Info and get some of those results. You can even go get companies on a map. Find me all the manufacturing companies in Atlanta if I want to map out my territory. Now, watch what I can do. I'm going to go grab the name of that company. Hey, that's one I'm interested in. We're going to go into Biz People search by title. We'll paste in the company name and we can search by title. Let's go find a president of the company. Oh, there we go, Hank Little. Now, I always recommend connecting with people, but look at this. Hank doesn't allow us to connect with him. You're going to get a way better response connecting, but what we can do, he doesn't even allow us to connect with them. Watch what we can do. Remember, if we know their website, we can usually figure out their email address. We're going to click on email naming search 1, and we can see in general, they used first initial, last name. We put that in. We're going to grab that. It's H Little at, we'll paste in the website. We're going to verify. It's going to go out and ping the server, make sure that that's verified. Looks like it is. And occasionally, especially on executives, HR people, marketing people, we can even see if that email's online. There we go. And oh, by the way, there's a direct phone number. Now we're going to go back in. Sales triggers. We talked about sales triggers, how powerful sales. I automate it for you. Spend an hour a week in this section. You will find 10, 15 leads. We type in Minneapolis. Here are leadership changes in Minneapolis, new contracts or agreements, changes that are going on within a company where they want to take your call today. Mergers, acquisitions, relocations or moving. Companies that are relocating, they need to hear from you. They want your creative solutions. New construction activity. They're growing. They need new office supplies, new HVAC, new commercial insurance. Funding activity. We talked about this one earlier. So powerful. These companies need to spend money. Now, one of them was Centrifuge. We're going to go back into advanced people search. We're going to find their founder. There we go. Justin. I know I'm being a little bit redundant here. I just want to show you how easy it is. We're going to go in. We're going to paste in the company's name. Now we're going to do it a little bit differently. We're going to go get their website address. Now we're going to paste that down here. And we're going to go get that email naming convention. How do they do their email addresses? So there's lots of different ways to determine or figure out the email addresses within the engine. Looks like they use first name at and then website address. So centrifuge.com, we're going to verify that, make sure that that's accurate. And it looks like it is. And like I said, once in a while you get lucky. Let's go see if we can find it online. Yeah, hey, we can. There we go. And beautiful. There is his direct phone number and email address as well. Company details. Got to learn a little bit about these folks. So we can go in, pull up their D&B profile, their Zoom Info profile, how many employees, what's their revenue. If I want to follow them on social media, we make it really easy. Who their investors are, we can get that information. If it's a nonprofit, we'll pull up their full tax reports, Better Business Bureau rating, employee reviews, customer reviews, even some court cases. Go in here. I know there's a lot. I just am so excited about this. I can't wait for you to dive in and use it. List Finder. Remember the file type colon? You don't have to remember any of that. I do it for you. Type in the name of a company web address like 3m.com. Well, if somebody from 3M is a member of this organization, well, maybe there's a lot of other prospects who might be members or who have attended a conference. These folks might be great for me. I can go in and find contacts and spreadsheets. Let's go find spreadsheets where someone from 3M is listed, phone numbers, email. Again, maybe other people or prospects or companies are in there that could be great for us. Contacts and documents. And this is a crazy one. Even contacts in document images. This is kind of a backdoor way of finding information that you're not going to find any way else. You can go in and find a customer distributor list. So who are the customers, the distributors for 3M? Vendor and supplier list. Like I said, it's crazy what you can find. I automate it. What's going on in the background is I'm adding the 30 to 50 word boolean query. There's no super secret database here. I'm just laying on top of search engines. Research Doc Finder. I can type in a word in the doc title or just kind of a broad word, construction. Go find me trend reports about construction. I can use this to provide value, to customize my programs, customize my presentations. I can go get RFPs, recent RFPs for HVAC. I can go in and get all sorts of things, annual reports. What else do we have? We've got price sheets. We can go in and find price sheets, manuals and guides. I mean, it's crazy what you can find in here. The key is to focus. What are the things you care about the most? Let me do the 30 to 50 Boolean query for you. You're going to love this too. This is a little bit of business intelligence. Find me the word benefits, but don't search the entire internet. Just search 3m.com. I can laser focus my search. Every one of these results has the word benefits, but it only is on 3m.com. Watch this. Find me the word benefits on 3m.com, but only find me PDF files. So that's how crazy this is. Marketing opportunities. Let's say I want to market to the insurance industry. Find me podcasters, places where I could be interviewed, bloggers, places that want me to be a guest author in the insurance industry. I can go in and find a reporter. Let's say I've got a really cool story to tell. Who are the key insurance reporters? I can even figure out what are the insurance conferences in 2022. Maybe I've got a great message. I can even go speak at a conference. So power all your marketing within the Intel engine. A couple more things in here. There's just so much, but I know you're going to love these things. Personal information. We're not going to dive in here because it's public, but I can find LinkedIn profiles, Facebook profiles, political contribution, nonprofit contributions. And this is crazy. Let's say I sell window replacements and I want to sell to people who recently bought their homes, but I want to find people with like really expensive homes. So $1 to $5 million homes in Wayzata, Minnesota. I know if their house was sold in 2019, they probably need new windows. I can go get a list of homes between that when it was sold 2019. Within that price range, I'm going to grab the address. I'll paste that in. This gets a little bit crazy. I can even see who lives there. Now I can go reach out to this individual. Heck, I can even find their neighbors, get their single home value, pictures of the homes. I can even get a satellite view of the home. So again, all these things you can do on your own in Google, but it would take you 20 minutes, hours, and you'd have to know the 50 to 70 Boolean query. I can go in and automate it for you. As you can see, you just type in a word, click a button, and we get our results. So, all right, I know that was a lot, but there's a lot in there, not only just the learning, but the engine as well, that you get access to it for life. You get access to all of my training. You get access to the entire engine for life. Now, people ask me all the time, well, what's a lifetime membership? Well, I guess you better hope I take my vitamins because I suppose it's my lifetime. I don't listen. It's going to work and you get it for life. One time you get in, you get all the training. And oh, by the way, you get all the upgrades. I'm upgrading this every week. I'm adding new videos. I'm adding new content, new scripts, new ways to find information. I'll send you update videos. Hey, I just created this. I just did that. Once you're in, you are in for life, and it's completely risk-free, meaning try it for 30 days. If you don't love it, email me. I'll give you your money back. Listen, I only want to be doing business with people where I'm providing value, and I know that I can provide value to you. So will your business be better with access to better information? I would love it if you became a member of the No More Sales and Business Intel program. You get access to all my training, all the future training, all the videos, all the courses, the guides, the scripts, and you get access to the engine for life. Hey, I would love to take any questions. There's my contact information. Feel free to reach out at any time. If anybody's got any questions, I would love to take them. If you could maybe read them to me, because I'm not wearing my glasses right now. I can't see anything. I'm getting a little old. So, hey, I hope you like the program. Anybody have any questions out there?
Sam, holy, first, just to cover the beginning of your presentation, I don't think I've ever used Google properly in my entire life.
Most people don't, so don't feel bad.
It's wild. It's absolutely wild what's available there. I remember learning a couple things, but not the minus. That alone is fascinating. For everyone watching, if you have any questions, please pop them in the comments. We have Sam for a little more time. And also feel free to pop any comments in there. If you're watching the replay, we do come back and try and get to some of those. Let Sam know if there's some really good questions there. But Sam, right off the bat, I just want to ask a couple questions about your course, just to be clear. So there's the course, but this tool that you've built into the platform is just available a lot when you purchase the course. That's yours for lifetime.
Yeah, so you get all the training, you get all the videos, the guidebooks, the scripts, what you would traditionally get in an online course. Listen, I want to provide value. I want to do something that no one's ever done before, because you get a lot of theory and course creators are awesome. They give you things that you can do, but how many course creators actually give you the tools? So in a sense, we've all taken a course like how to bake great chocolate chip cookies. Wonderful. But I doubt that any course you've ever watched online on how to bake great chocolate chip cookies actually sends you the oven and the ingredients and the tools. All you got to do is throw them together. So that's what I've done for you. I've given you the oven, the tools, the ingredients. You go make it. By the way, here's another offer I'll make to everybody. What is embedded in the No More Business and Sales Intelligence program is what I call my premium Intel engine. I have other Intel engines. So every time I speak, I customize an Intel engine for an industry. So I've got them for manufacturing. I've got them for electronic components. I've got them for marketing. I've got them for financial advisors, insurance providers, window replacement people. I've got them for professional recruiters. If you become a member of the program here today, if you become a member of the program, you can always go to Intel Engine, INTEL. Now it's spelled weird, NGIN. So IntelNGIN.com, IntelEngine.com. That's not every one of my engines, but it's a lot of them. If you find one on there that you want for the fleet industry, the construction industry, you send me an email. If you're a member, you'll get access to that engine too. What's different about those engines is I automate the sales triggers. So, for example, if you are in the financial advisory business, you only want to, maybe you sell qualified plans, meaning like a 401k plan. You only want to target HR people or finance people. So you just type in the name of the company, click the HR button, and it'll pull up those folks. Or you only care, if you're in the construction industry, you only care about commercial construction or road construction projects. You type in the city, click road construction. So that's where the customization occurs. Again, normally I would never do this, but if you buy off of this program, you become a Sales Business Intel member. Send me an email if there's another Intel. And even if you go to the IntelEngine.com, it's IntelNGIN.com website, and there's not one there that fits your industry, email me, because I probably have them. I just haven't made them public, but I'll give it to you. No additional charge. I'll just add it to your account.
You're offering so much value. And just to call out as well, because Steve was asking how much is the lifetime membership. Well, now if you go through the Discover link, which is pinned in the comments, it's in the description and will be emailed to you. For just a week, it is $889 or $88 for 12 months, which is a significant discount from usual, plus this additional value you're giving. So it's a good time to hop on this. Also, I just want to appreciate how much you're offering here with just that tool alone.
Yeah.
How valuable that is.
Well,
So
I got to
with
tell
the
you,
training to use it, I appreciate that very much.
most of my members, and especially if you're attending my conference, I just got to be blunt, you're paying way more than that. And as I like to say, for $80 a month, but unlike other programs that continue to bill you for the rest of your life, it's $80 a month for 12 months, then you're done, you never pay another penny. If you can't get an ROI, if I can't help you land a new deal like within the first month through a sales trigger, through finding the right contact information, we got a bigger problem. Right. We got a bigger problem in our sales process. So, I mean, when I say risk-free, it's about as risk-free as you can possibly get. Plus, let me give you some more value too. All right.
Okay.
If you join and you ever have a question, I'll send you my email. I'll send you my calendar link. We'll do a one-on-one demo because I want to make sure you are amazingly successful with this. We can put your team on it. We can put you on it. We'll go through a demo. And if you want, I can even do a custom program just like this for your company, completely customized. Now that's not going to be for free, but I'll put one together, completely customized in person or virtual for your company. But then everyone will get access to the recordings, the membership, and your custom Intel engine. Listen, if you use this, there's just, as I like to say, the only person I ever know that's like been able to promise, hey, I can turn $800 into $800,000, as I like to say, is a guy named Bernie, and he's in jail. So we're not doing it. I'm going to give you all the tools, all the techniques, the scripts, the guides, everything to help you massively grow your business. And I'm here for you. I'm not going to leave you hanging. You got questions, you email me. We'll jump on a Zoom call. I'll create videos for you. I want you to thrive through better information. Sorry if I get a little bit excited, as you can tell, but I'm super excited about this.
Just the concept of what's available through there is wildly exciting alone. I was trying a couple of those methods while you were talking about it and was just like, there's spreadsheets out there for that? It's pretty crazy. But Sam, just for time's sake, we got to wrap up here, but I appreciate your time so much. Everyone who's been watching, thank you for hanging out with us. I hope you had as much of a mind-blowing experience as I did. Please hop in the comments. Thanks, Sam. And if you like this video, like and subscribe to the Discover channel. We're trying to bring more creators and intellectuals like Sam out to share their knowledge and their courses. Sam, before we totally wrap up, I do like to ask just like one last question. Sure. For someone who's just embarking on this whole new tool set, you have a business, you want to create more business, there's these tools available, but it could be overwhelming right off the bat.
Yeah, for sure.
Your course is a great resource, but even just to like dip their toes in it a little bit and just start playing with these Boolean, like, what's your bit of advice not to get overwhelmed right off the bat?
That's a great question because it can be super overwhelming. The first thing we need to recognize is I call it a best customer or a best client profile. So who are the people you want to reach? What are their job titles? What cities? What industries? And then ask yourself, why have they bought from you? Why has your best customer bought from you in the past? Now, it could be that they just needed a new vendor. It also could be that there was a sales trigger going on in their world. Maybe the person you called on was the new CEO. Maybe they just received funding. Maybe they just moved to your community. Whatever it is, figure out those sales triggers. Again, you can use the tool. There are many places where you can get lists and start at A and end at Z. And that's how most of us prospect. Hey, I prospect that way. Nothing wrong with that. Mathematically, someone will buy. But I would say if I could give one simple piece of advice, continue to prospect the way you do. But at 4 o'clock on a Friday, when you're just brain dead, whether you do it manually through the techniques I shared with you, or whether you use the Intel engine where we automate it for you, find 5, 6, 10 sales triggers where that person needs to hear your solution today based on what's going on in their world. Quickly do the math. Let's say I do 10 a week. Okay, I'm going to take some vacation. That's 48 weeks per year. That's 480 highly qualified leads of the types of prospects that something's going on in their world where they need you today. If you can't land one of those, we got a bigger problem.
There's
And with
enough.
the Intel engine, I even tell you how to find them, who the decision maker is and what's their email address. There's no excuse.
That is remarkable. That takes so much of the just terrifying labor out of just sitting there with Google being like, who needs my services? Wow. My brain is just turning right now. Sam, thank you so much for your time and for such an awesome and in-depth presentation. For everyone watching, thank you for taking the time for being here today. Sam, we hope to have you back soon again. It's been a pleasure. We'll see you soon.
Thank you very much, everybody.